there are small machines that doesn't cost so much that you can use to produce thousands of underwears every day. If you have two workers, you can actually produce that much on daily basis and even ship them overseas. I know of a man who produces about 5,000 boxers. That was 2014 in Abat Ungwa Road. I think that was JB Telos. So you can actually become a billionaire or a millionaire by producing underwears. And this is just a typical example of a machine that produces underwear. For this, they use it for the waistband. It doesn't cost so much, and it makes fitting in the waistband quite easy. So this is actually for this kind of business, you might have to do it like departmental or sectional or batch production, will I say. So once a particular person put the waistband, another person goes for the finishing. Okay, I can use it for both male boxers, female boxers, and all sort of clothes. So this is how fast you can actually produce, and this gives you fine finishing. It doesn't really. So all you need to do is just to invest a little more, and you can get fine finishing, and it makes your work quicker. So people have not really think about the money you can make making underwear, but I'm just here to show you some machines, and I will tell you how you can start to source for these machines. Yeah, guys. So I'll be taking you through the step-by-step guide to starting an underwear manufacturing company in Nigeria. That means you might be able to manufacture all set of underwear or some of them, depending on what you want. So you will decide to choose your niche if you want to manufacture generally for men, women, or for men and for boys and girls, or for men, women, boys and girls, or even for babies. So you all decide. But of course, from my experience, it is always better to specialize. You might decide to specialize on women underwear or women and men underwear. You might decide to choose boxers and pants, or you might decide to choose bra and pants. So it all depends on what is your interest and what you think that you are creative about. What you are passionate about. Of course, in business, you have to consider passion. You also have to consider talent, your skills, and all of that, your resources as well. So this is what I want to do today. I want to talk about how you can start an underwear manufacturing company in Nigeria. So I'll take you from the beginning, from starting from the scratch, choosing the machineries, the kind of needs you might want to serve, and even the skills. Whether you have to obtain the skill or you have to hire someone, the investment cost, and your target market and all of that. So this is what I would be looking at today. So the first thing you need to do is to conduct a market research. Okay, you need to understand the local underwear market in Nigeria, and you ask yourself who are the people who buys underwear more. For example, if I should make a men underwear and I'm going to sell 100 boxers in a week, and if I have to produce women pants and I could sell 1,000 pants in a week, I think I should rather go for women's pants, right? So you have to consider that, and you have to ask yourself something. For example, let me say, my experience, when I conducted this research about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I noticed that some women still wear, use under brassiere, but they don't wear used pants. So which means that if you produce pants, you might have to sell more than when you produce brassiere. So another thing is that I noticed that men, their purchasing power is not really that purchasing power is low, but their frequency of purchase is lower. So that also get me thinking that one has to strategize. But all the same, I still realize that while their purchasing quantity is lower, I still realize that they still the sales of boxer is still huge, mainly because that if you produce boxer, for example, in Aba, you may have to serve markets like Kaduna, Kano, Abuja, even Lagos. You can imagine that. So that means that it's still a very good business. And just to tell you, gone are the days when you think that when someone is sewing or when someone has a fashion company, that is not a good business. It is. I actually started a fashion company called Zara Fashion House, which when I traveled, I stopped it because of management issue. But I am planning to revitalize it. I mean to bring it back to life. So that will happen soon. So when it comes to fashion, it gives a lot of money. You can see like Shay. I was so surprised to see the kind of mansion edifice he built, worth of multi-billion edifice he built for his office, for his factory. So that shows that fashion house is a lot, okay? So the question is, who is your target customer, okay? Is it women, men, children? Is it the plus size? Is it maternity or whatever? So it's better to specialize in one or two than to do everything. Probably when you become so big, you can now go into having sections of all kinds of clothes. Yeah, the next thing is what styles are in demand. You have to think about it. Is it briefs? Is it boxers? Is it G strings? Is it lace bras? Is it sport bras? Or it is, so you're gonna think of what is trending, because the best way to start and get into the market is to start with the trending things, right? Yeah, unless you just want to build a brand, then you have to patiently build your brand. If you want to go on to start your business on the go, you have to go with what is what trending, and what are the existing brands doing right or wrong. Then you leverage on what they're doing right, continue with that, and improve what they're doing wrong, in order to make yourself one of the top brand. And again, what are the price ranges in the market? You need to know the price range, okay? Yeah, so and you find out which price range sells the most. If boxers of, let's say, 1,000 naira sells most, why do I want to produce boxers of 2,000 naira? Maybe I may not have license, or why do I want to produce boxers of 500 naira when I can actually produce 1,000 and still sell a lot of boxers. So these are very important things to look at. And you also ask yourself, where the customer come to shop? Is it online? Is it offline? Is it in supermarket? And all of that. So you will start thinking of how to meet your customers, because that is quite important, and where you're gonna meet your customers, okay? Yeah, so once you finish your market research, the next thing is to determine or decide your manufacturing model. There are three kinds of manufacturing models. Some people want to start from the scratch. They buy their own machineries, they get their own shops, they design their own goods, and they produce it according to their design. So from the scratch. But the disadvantage is it has high cost of investment. You need to invest, to be in full control, and you have to handle the cutting, the sewing, the branding, the packaging, everything, the selling, and all of that. Then another one is semi-production. Some people do what they call semi-production. They buy, materials, cut and design locally, but they outsource the sewing. They buy, cut it, design it, and they ask someone to sew it for them, because they are not really tailors; they are just designers. So this has a medium cost, and it is also scalable. You can always increase, right? Yeah. So this is something you can also think about. Then there is what we call white labeling. White labeling is just that I go to China and I call people, in China, and I get goods from them. Then I brand them to my own name. Okay. So for this, there are factories that make generic design. Okay. They just keep it brand. They keep it brandless and sell it to you. Then you decide to brand it. So for this, there is low setup cost. And low customization cost. So you just go ahead and start up your business. So the third step is actually for you to learn or hire a skilled worker. So you have to learn to do this business yourself, or you hire is the right skills, to do the job for you. So in as much as you think you can sew, then you can decide to hire someone who can sew, and just give him your concept, supervise him, put some touch on his concept, on their experience and skills, and get into the business fully. Okay, so for this, you might decide to take some courses on underwear design production, or you may hire someone who is already trained, and or you may work with pattern. You can also get some pattern and work with pattern. Okay. Number four, thing you need to do is to get the right equipment. You need to get the right machines. Okay. So if you want to go into underwear machine, there are machines you need to have. You need to have industrial sewing machine. For this, you use them for stitching, and this could range within 120 to 180,000 per unit. And you get what we call overlock Sega, and for this you use it for seam finishing. Okay, to do the finishing is about 100,000 to 150,000, and you can also get what they call overstitch machine. For this, you use it for elastic brand, which I will show you the video. So you use this for elastic, and it costs about 150 to 250,000 naira. Then the next is fabric cutting or scissors. So there are some fabric cutting machines that you can use to cut bulk of fabric, or you could use scissors to do your cutting. So this could be within 10,000 and 50,000, depending on what you want. Then the buttonhole machine to make your buttonholes, depending on the fashion of the underwear, or and this also have this hook, machine, which is option. Those are optional anyway. So for this, you use them to put in your hook and fasteners, and this could cost you within 150,000 plus. So these are the basic machines you might need to, get going. So I can tell you, this machine you can get them in Aba, Lagos, or you can import them, whether new or used ones. But I think Aba is one of the places, one of the best places you could go to if you want to do fashion shop, even not just for machine, but also for setting up your industry, because there you have cheap levels, you have good quality skills, you have very experienced people, you have access to materials, you have access to skilled people to to employ and all of that. So don't really need to struggle to do that. Okay. Yeah. Number five things today is to source materials or fabric. So fabrics and accessories. So if you can't get your fabric and accessories, it doesn't make sense, right? For this underwear materials, it requires stretchy and soft materials. You can't just use any kind of material. You have to look for material that is stretchy and they're soft, because it is underwear, right? So that it could be almost like in between sizes, and it could feel comfortable when people wear them, right? It's not something you say, I'm gonna look for cotton. No, it has to be stretchy materials. And the main materials, there are several materials you could use, but you could use what they call lycra or spandish. Some people call it cotton jersey. It depends on where you're buying it from. Then there's another one called lace for lingerie, depending on if you're sewing lingerie. Then we have elastic band and waist bands for the waist. Then they have the bra cup on the waist, slider hook. Otherwise, you can make your own bra cup. There is bra cup machines too, which I could also show you if I have time to show you that. Then you could also get your cotton gussets, for the panty lining. So this is all the kind of materials you need to buy. And again, where to buy this? You can buy them in Aba, you can buy them in Onisha, and in Lagos you can buy them in Mushin and Balogun. Those are for people in Nigeria. But if you're outside of Nigeria, like Kenya and all of that, you can actually check out your country where you can buy this. And if you buy them in bulk, you can get them at reduced cost. Number six thing you need to do is to set up a small factory or workshop. Like for me, when I set up my Zara Fashion House, I started in a very small place. My mindset was to move from that factory to a three-bedroom flat, and from there I want to move to a full bungalow, or duplex rather. So, but unfortunately I moved out and I gave it a pause. So guys, you may start small, don't start big, because if you start big, you're going to run a lot of overhead costs, and this will affect you to scale up, because you'll be running a lot of costs. So you could start small, and as your business scale up, then you could do what? Expand. So when you're locating your industry or your factory, you should think about a place where you have possibility of like taking the next shop or taking the next building when you start scaling up, so that you don't relocate and people come to look for you and they struggle with finding where you are, even though you can actually always tell your customers that you're moving out before you move out, in case you. So think about that. So you can start with a room in your home also if you want, or you can get a rented shop or space, or you can use even a container workshop, until when you scale up. Okay. Yeah, so this is very important. So the things you need good lighting for you to do well in business, in sewing business. You need tables and for cutting, very good table for cutting. It's actually don't have to get tables that are not looking good. You need to have power supply, like generator inverter, in case the power goes down, you could actually continue sewing. Then you need ventilators or fan to ensure that you have good air, otherwise you may fall sick. Then you need storage shelf where you're gonna put your materials and your finished goods, and you should be able to select this for both your materials and finished goods. So number seven is script, sample, design, and pattern. Yeah, it's important for you to start with 3 to 5 unique design of panties and bras, just to ensure that you don't create so many patterns and so many designs. Then you could start with this and perfect in them, and people know you for the brand. Then slowly you could actually expand. Okay, so you work with maybe pattern makers, so that they give you a pattern and you don't run into crisis, especially if you're not skilled. But if you're skilled, then it's not much of a problem, but it's still good to maintain patterns so that you could produce things that looks alike all the time. Okay, then you test your sample on real people for comfort and fitting. You give to people, say, wear this, tell me how it looks like. If there are improvements, if there are complaints, just give them for free, two, three people, sample it, different sizes of people, and just get them test it for you. Okay, so once they test the sample, they give you feedback, right? So you work on the feedback and improve it. Then next thing is you need to adjust the sizing based on Nigerian body style. You look at, some people are curvy, some people are curvier than the rest, and all of that. So you have to test build your sample according to the people's style. And for example, Filipinos and Nigerians, they don't have the same shape, so you must be very careful to get it done in a such, so that you don't just say use a pattern that was produced in China that doesn't suit you, right? Then you adjust sizing based on. So once you've done that, the next thing is that you can offer small, medium, large, and extra large according to, for a start. So you may not want to go for SSSL because you may have fewer people to patronize you, right? Eight is you need to brand and package your product. Without branding, your product doesn't look good. So you need to ensure that you brand your product and package it. You put your business name plus your logo, then you put a custom label, a woven or heat transfer, whatever it is. Then you make sure you package it well, put some like carton and package it so that it looks like a box, and you put a size tag on it so that it doesn't look like what was produced on the street, right? Yeah, so, and you also put a care instruction showing that don't use electric iron on this, or don't wash this in washing machine, this kind of instruction to ensure that this lasts. Then you register your business with corporate affairs commission. This is optional for a start, but you may decide to do that. Okay, yeah, so but that will help you. And number 19 is to create sales challenge. See, one of my videos, learn how to sell or go home. You need to go watch that video. Learn how to sell or go home. I realize that if you cannot sell, then there is no need to get into a business. You know why? If you get into a business and you cannot sell, then you won't succeed, because the heart of every business growth or every business that grow is how to sell. You must be the speaker. You must be the one who is talking. So you need online presence. You need to get on Instagram, on Facebook. You have to sell online and offline, right? You have to get on Instagram or Facebook shop, WhatsApp business. You have to get on Jume, Congo, Gigi, even your own website on Shopify or Seller. Okay, they need to go offline by in fashion boutique. Go to supply fashion boutiques, supermarkets, market retailers. B2B, like sell to retailers in bulk, and you can offer combo packs. Three panties in one for 2005 instead of three, each 1,000 naira. That kind of thing, so that people get better value from your product. And number 10 is you have to market aggressively. Ensure that you do aggressive market through all sort of means, social media, physical, and all of that. Referral programs where you might give people 500 discount on someone else. That kind of thing. Then number 11, you need to track and scale. Yeah, you track your progress, and as things progress, then you scale up. Put in new products and new brands and new designs and stuff like that. So those are things you might want to look as you understand. Then again, I could actually give you the cost estimate on, what you can actually do for you to start a small brand shop. But because of time, I might skip this, and I will just tell you that going into a business, number one, you need a sample business plan for underwear. So if you need this, you can beat me up. I do business consultants. I can help you with a sample business plan. Okay, I can actually help you with sketching the factory. What a factory looks like, a mini factory, depending on your size and your budget. And I can also give you the list of material suppliers in Nigeria, and I can help you with everything it takes to how to start this business, how to scale up. But guys, I just want to say that if you like this video, do not forget to like it, don't forget to share it, don't forget to comment on it. But I would like to know where you're watching from. Don't forget to type and comment where you're watching from. Then I will hit back to you and I'll find out if you are interested in this business. There are small machines that doesn't cost so much that you can use to produce thousands of underwears every day. If you have two workers, you can actually produce that much on daily basis and even ship them overseas. I know of a man who produces about 5,000 boxers, that was 2014 in Abat Ungwa Road. I think that was JB Telos. So you can actually become a billionaire or a millionaire by producing underwears. And this is just a typical example of a machine that produces underwear. For this, they use it for the waistband. It doesn't cost so much, and it makes fitting in the waistband quite easy. So this is actually for this kind of business, you might have to do it like departmental or sectional or batch production, will I say. So once a particular person put the waistband, another person goes for the finishing. Okay, I can use it for both male boxers, female boxers, and all sort of clothes. So this is how fast you can actually produce, and this gives you fine finishing. It doesn't really. So all you need to do is just to invest a little more, and you can get fine finishing, and it makes your work quicker. So people have not really think about the money you can make making underwear, but I'm just here to show you some machines, and I will tell you how you can start to source for these machines, and how you can set up your production line, the best places you could set up your production line, and a number of them. In those days, people believe that things like this are for poor people, but today you can see very rich people. I think we could see Sheyi in Lagos, who has built a multi-billion tailoring shop. That shows that from fashion design and from making clothes, you could make money. You might decide to make underwears like I'm talking about today, or you might decide to make t-shirts. I realize that most of the t-shirts we wear, we import them from overseas. I mean, quality t-shirt, but you could actually make quality t-shirt that are customized and according to the taste of the people who live in Nigeria, because we have our own taste. We don't really wear anything, right? So this is it. So guys, there are a whole lot of opportunity, but I will take you to explore through all of these opportunities. So just stay tuned with me. Let's go through the entire video. So you can see how simple this machine is. This is the what this machine look like. Yeah, so it has a stand. You can also decide to buy the tabletop depending on what you want. You can buy the tabletop, otherwise you can buy the full set this way. And yeah, you could actually do your job. I think this is better to have the full set. I will take you through other machineries, but this is just the entire view of what the stripping machine looks like. I am not too sure if this is multi-purpose, but I'm sure that you can use it to fix in the waistband. Okay, yeah. So I will take you through the rest of the machines I would like to show you in this very episode of becoming a billionaire through fashion design. Another important aspect of this business is to ensure that you do a fine finishing, and if you finish it, you also try to do a nice packaging. Okay, like the one you see here is well finished with good stitches, and apart from that, the packaging looks so great. Okay, you can see also he has branded it, you know, to show that it's really out for business, because if you don't brand it also, it wouldn't come out very well. And apart from that, people feel that it's very inferior goods, even if they don't know your brand name. In as much as you brand it, it will make it much look much better. So that is why it's important for you to try to do a branding for your products. You see the back, how well it's streamlined. So if you want to come out very well as a notable designer, you must ensure these things. And again, you try to ensure that your product is well packaged. Okay, because packaging plays a very good role in helping you to sell your product. So you ensure that you've got a very good package for your product, not just about you know bringing a product, but you ensure that it is having a personal branding that will help you to sell it. So just imagine having a cloth that is well packed in this manner and well branded. So you say it's gonna sell. You sell them, you put them like 3 in 1 or 5 in 1, and ensure that it has good packaging and branding, and cover with a transparent material. So those are the things you need to do to ensure that your goods comes out very strongly, okay, in the market. I researched to see why Victoria's Secret was famous, and I got to find out a number of things. Victoria's Secret targeted a certain people. Victoria's Secret targeted celebrities and the elites, the top class in the society. This is what you can also do for your brand. You can decide to make your brand, take time to develop a brand, and it may take you a lot of, research, a lot of finishing job. You might decide to produce just 5 pieces in a day or 20 pieces in a day instead of producing 1,000. So it all depends on what you want. You may decide to go public, I mean, to produce for everyone by massively producing, or you might also decide to say, okay, I'm not going to produce massively, but I will produce just 50 pieces in a day, 40 pieces in a day, but I'm targeting the top class, people. So that was what Victoria's Secret did. Victoria's Secret targeted celebrities, and they targeted allies in the society. And annually they have a $12 million annual fashion show, and that $12 million annual fashion show pays for itself because a lot of people are attracted to advertise for the in the program, and they're being listed, and things like that. So at the end of the day, you see that a lot of people turns out for this show, and who turns out they are celebrities, they are top fashion, allies and business allies and all of that. So that is what Victoria's Secret does. So then this means that if you decide to target a certain people, you would also and you produce what they need. Those who don't have enough money will not buy your product, but those who are rich will buy your product, and they will proud over buying your product. They will say, "This is the product I wear. I wear." They tell their friends, "I wear this bra. I wear this pant. I wear these boxers," and their friends also will want to have it, and they will have it at an expensive cost. Okay, so this is what you need to do. You must ensure that you brand. Okay, so for Victoria's Secret, it was a brand that was created for celebrities. Again, it has there was a close attention to the customer experience. Okay, so really, women don't actually line up at Victoria's Secret because of the high prices. They line up because of the luxurious experience that brand offers them. Okay, they look at that luxurious experience. The pink wallpapers, the inviting fitting rooms, the friendly and well trained staff, and its consultants re-inviting strategies. That we are always created to get customers to come. Okay, so um, you know so you see customers paying over $50 to just get a small lingerie, which you could have just purchased for $2, $3, So this is what Victoria's Secret does. So they make you to pay for the experience they give to you. They make you to pay for the decorations. They make you to pay for the coffee, whatever you get in that meeting. I mean, coming to pick up something, they make you to pay for it. Another thing about Victoria's Secret is that there was a perfect mix of offline and online experience. So the brand actually is streamlined. They streamline their store and online assortment using online data to influence the store purchases decision. So for them, they were having a perfect mix of offline and online experience. So they were able to capture their customer both offline and both online. So those were part of the strategies which Victoria's Secret employed. So for you, you might decide to take advantage of whatever opportunity that you think that will make you to meet your customers. Okay, so in a nutshell, you will think about the experience that think about what you want to create. So in a nutshell, think about what you want to create and go ahead and create it. Target your customer and achieve it.